Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is a new opportunity for us. We've done this a few times, but not more than that. But because so many people have asked, I'm Dr. Barry. People call me actually Dr. B because of all my trips in China, working there, and people couldn't say Dr. Barry Morguelan, so they couldn't get Dr. Morguelan. They couldn't say Dr. Barry, so all the kids and everybody learned to say Dr. B. And really, what's important about my coming back from China and actually having all this information to give you all is that it's now really, really possible. That's why we have a whole group of people here that are going to be attending after we do the Facebook Live, that we've got these modules, actually, that practices that I brought back from Lao Tzu, things that have never, ever been written down, and that actually we've taken years, actually, over 15 years, to document with every single age group what wonderful things you can accomplish. And I know you want to accomplish a lot, right? Everybody does. I mean, to come to life every morning, the fun part is, what new things can I do today? What exciting things can I get done? And wouldn't it be fun if the whole day had a lot of wonderful surprises, not that thing that some people have to be concerned about, which is, we all have to, someone's holding you back in traffic, or there's going to be some problem you weren't expecting, and therefore your chance of winning for whatever you were planning gets less and less and less. So this is not only the opportunity to have all that recede into the background, sort of remain in some prehistoric time that doesn't exist at this time, because with these energy practices, you actually can have a success in a way that we've had over 10,000 testimonials. The name of the whole group is Energy for Success. So I hope all of y'all can hear me right now. I hope you can recognize that this Facebook Live is something that we're going to have interactive. It's going to be exciting. And so we want you to send in your questions, or, as you know, you also get a chance to like us on Facebook, or make a comment or share. All of those things are really appropriate for today, because all the people that definitely would wake up and recognize, oh gosh, I've got this other ability that I don't even have to work on. I don't even have to stress myself out, because the practices that we have for you, why all these people are here today, and why I've been doing programs for years with a number of high profile people around the world, is that it allows them and whoever uses the practices in just 30 minutes a day to really go out and crush it in so many different areas. So you pick the area you're interested in. Maybe right now you just want to wake up, recover from whatever you've been doing the week before or the night before. Maybe you'd like, well, that's a thing to ask for. Why wouldn't you want to be at the top of your game whenever you wake up in the morning? I mean, why would you accept less? If you talk to a 7-year-old or a 5-year-old, and I have those as clients, they don't wake up in the morning, expect it not to be bam, They go to their mom's bed, and what do? Or their dad's gonna go, hey, wake up, let's go, the day's starting. So that's the way life was meant to be for all of us. And it's not a positive thinking thing. It's not a motivational thinking. If you've ever been to a motivational class, which this is not, this is just a class of being able to implement practices so you can just go out and crush it in 8 different areas of your life. And one of them is being better and better at being more awake, alert, having your brain be more and more able to not only focus, but learn new things. And there's other things that go along with these practices. And it doesn't take long to be able to do them. You need them physically, mentally. There's ones we have where you don't even have to do anything, just listen, and the vibrations are what tunes you so that you're like someone who's actually been placed in a wonderful milieu, so that your whole body just starts healing in all those different areas that you're interested in. One of those areas, we want you to make goals. So if you'd make a goal now, what you'd like to have happen, for those of you who are watching this Facebook Live now, and some of you will be watching it later. And many of you, I hope, besides sharing and liking this whole Facebook presentation, but also watch it more than one time, because it's going to have in it not only the communication And the tips and the things that you're going to be able to do after this, we're going to go into some things you're going to be able to do right away. But that there's going to be things that you're going to get from the vibrations that are just in the milieu of the presentation, which will actually give you a chance to really get fired up about whatever you want to do. Say you've got the rest of today and you want to get some of your, we have many authors and playwrights and people who've written movies. If you want to be one of those people, or maybe you are one of those people, you've got to come out with your script today. You've got to write a certain number of pages. What if all the clients we've ever had come through here say, that's the end of writer's block for me. I can just make a goal at night, and in the morning I wake up and my brain's ready to be creative. And not only creative a little bit, but creative to the extent that we've had a number of people who've had wonderful successes, not only on Broadway, but within movies you've seen and shows that I'm sure you know of. But that's some of the areas that you're going to be able to find out these practices empower you to be able to do. But we actually have people here today because we have a course, and many of those people are coming in now while we're talking. It's an energy immersion course, and this is a more, I would say, robust course than many of the things that we have to offer. Actually, we have a special that we're going to be offering you all, and you'll be getting information about that on your feed, which will tell you how you can not only get the special, but it's going to include certain things in that special program that we put together just as a benefit. At the end of the Facebook Live today, I'm going to reveal all the things that are going to be in it. But on the feed, you should start to get information and a bit.ly, which will tell you where to go to find out about this at the end. But the key thing is, what is it you're going to get necessarily? Well, what if all you're made of was, besides this wonderful, presentation, you get to wear different clothes, your personality, things you get to learn. But what if your whole process of your body is sort of like when you breathe oxygen, You don't think much about it, but actually oxygen, the air you breathe, it sort of depends what kind of air you take in, what kind of water you drink as to how healthy this structure is. So you could almost say that the body has sensors throughout it that actually are looking to see, is this the right kind of water or is this going to make me sick? Is this the right kind of air? Is it the right percentage of oxygen? It's going to make me ill. If you're in sunlight, you have sensors that actually affect your melanocytes. You have these little granules in there. I'm a medical doctor, a gastroenterologist, endoscopic surgeon. I've been teaching that all over the world for over 25 years. But what brought me to the place where I just really couldn't wait any longer after we had so many testimonials and so many different age groups that were benefiting by doing these easy practices. Some of them are you just listen and you just close your eyes and you can actually, and I think that's one of the things that you're going to be offered in the special on that bit.ly is that you don't have to work so hard at being mindful. You don't have to work so hard at being positive. You don't have to, Joe, I'm positive, I'm mindful, I'm a kind person. You don't have to do all that. What if that's really who you are? What if I was mentioning, these melanocytes in your skin, when sunlight hits your skin, doesn't matter where you are in the world, those granules increase. You have sensors there. And what happens is your skin turns a golden brown or a darker brown. But that happens because those sensors are just waiting for the sunlight to actually have you fired up and ready to go. It doesn't matter how much light's out there. And oh, by the way, you get the best vitamin D from those cells. That's the real vitamin D. That's the one you really want to use. And people already know now that if you're not taking about 5,000 units, the number may change by the time you see this, a day, that you really are deficient because not enough people go out and let their sensors get hit by the sunlight, So in this course that these people are in, and the course that you're going to be given is a very special. It has some really hot things in it. Some of them include just what I'm talking about, guided breathing visualizations that allow you to just all of a sudden at the end of it, without any effort, walk away ready to go. And whatever you want, there's ones for every kind of goal. I actually listen to these in between surgeries because it doesn't matter whether you've had a tough day or a rush day, it puts you in the place where you're in the zone. And when you're in the zone, when you're in flow, everybody's reported to me, including Olympic athletes and NBA players, that, oh man, this allows me to put the ball in the basket and keep going. So don't take just what I'm telling you. This is one of our initial Facebook Lives. And because we have this course here, we have people actually wanted to share some of the things that they've been able to do starting out in their life with wherever they were at. So I'm going to look for a second to see who's out here in the crowd, who's here that could share. Where is Davey? Okay, good. So Davey is a cool guy. Would the mic work for him on this thing? Do you know he needs this mic? Okay, good. So come up here, just so that people can see you, I guess. So can everybody see Dave? Good. So Davey is, as you can see, about 100 years old. And you've been in the workforce for 50, 60 years, right? And you've been having the best success of your life, or what's it been like? How's it been going up until you started doing these energy exercises, these practices?
Yeah, so I joined the energy work about 5 years ago, 5.5 years ago.
Cool.
And before that, I was in an entry-level job wanting to get into the solar industry. Mm-hmm. And after I joined the energy and started doing my practices, I got that job that I've been wanting for a few years in solar and started doing sales there. And you asked the question of how my career has been going. It's definitely been a roller coaster before and after using the energy. So when I was in solar, I started using the energy and just took off like a rocket ship.
Yeah, the energy, for some people that don't know this, because this is their Facebook Live, so we're sort of explaining things or bringing them out to you all so that you can just, maybe it's the first time, but by doing the quote unquote, the energy, which is really the source energy. This energy practices is not like gasoline and it's not like medication, neither of those things. There's nothing exogenous, nothing you have to take into your body. Actually, your sensors are waiting to actually experience this wonderful source energy. And it's what fueled in China all those other disciplines, Qigong, Kung Fu, Tai Chi, all those things, including, meditation. So were these practices, whichever ones you did, since we had the visual ones that you can watch video, the auditory ones, all of them have vibrations embedded in them. And you don't even you don't feel it, it's just part of the milieu. But as you all know, there's a different sense and experience you have that if you've been locked up in a classroom in a tall building or in a library in the stacks for about 2 or 3 hours versus sitting at the beach for 2 or 3 hours. Which one has molecules around you in milieu that actually makes you feel more invigorated without changing what you're doing? So you were selling solar, and then what happened?
Yeah, I was selling solar, and I was doing all the breathing exercises, journaling, writing goals, things like that as part of the energy, right?
Yeah. Was writing goals difficult or in the beginning, or was it something that once you started getting traction, seeing these practices worked, then you started wanting to write more? At least that's what happened with me when I was in China.
Yeah, I was definitely a little skeptical at the beginning, but with just creating a habit out of it with the help of my wife and the facilitators here in the community, making a habit out of it, you start to really see results to where...
Wife, were you married when you started doing the energy exercise?
No, that was my girlfriend at the time. Yeah.
She was your girlfriend?
Yeah.
So you actually pulled it together and decided
that happened too, yeah.
Good. So for all you out there that really want to move on your life, it's time. Come on, why not? If you have found your significant person you want to be with, hang on, make it work. You can get a lot more accomplished in this lifetime. You can multitask with this source energy, the practices every day, so that you can take care of your relationship, come home, and actually get your work done too, successfully, so that y'all can continue to grow. So then what happened?
Yeah, so I was doing very well. I kept getting promoted, and then all of a sudden my boss, who was the VP of sales, passed away. Oh. And the company basically took a nosedive after that. He was definitely kind of the balance to the CEO. And that's when things started getting really challenging. I went on a business trip and got super sick and had to go to the hospital for about a week.
How sick were you?
Very sick.
Yeah. Did people get well from the illness that you contracted?
No,
I think you had some type of, I don't want to tell people, but some type of thing.
It was a
one
very
of your organs.
Rare acute attack, and the doctor said this is rare. We don't know exactly how to treat it, but we
wasn't
just have a
something
protocol
contagious. Just all of a sudden your body just shifted and you started losing function that you needed in certain parts, right?
Correct.
Yeah, and so it's kind of scary, I bet.
It was scary, for sure.
So did you do any energy practices or anything in the house? Did you listen to like a number of people tell me they get fractures. It doesn't matter what your age, you have osteoporosis, and listen to the wonderful guided visualizations, which people say gets them out of the hospital sooner. and
Yeah.
stronger. Were you able to do that?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it was a type of illness to where it was a number that was going too high, and then once we really started amping up the energy, and we called you and actually sent you some results and just got you involved and just really got the energy going, you could see it fall back down as soon as it went back up, and the doctors were saying this is the quickest we've seen anyone recover, and
Really? That's
blah blah
fantastic.
blah. It was really great. So got out of the hospital, and after the hospital, within like a few months, I got let go from that company. I was at a director level.
Has anybody ever had that? Have you ever had, like, you're working someplace, you're doing a pretty good job or a great job, but things change there? You weren't planning on that, and then things change in your thing called, when I'm interviewing some people, go, what have you been doing? They go, da 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 da. I said, you told me that about a year or two ago. Are you doing the energy practices? I don't know. What got in the way? Life. Well, life doesn't have to necessarily get in the way. It can be something that it could be a springboard for you that you can go from there on up without having to go, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. Your whole body likes to do that. So what happened? Did you cave and go under and we had to like read about you, or did something happen? Did you were able to pull yourself together with the energy?
Yeah, I was able to pull myself together. I mean, it was not ideal being unemployed and still recovering from a hospital visit, but we pulled
I
together.
think they still tried to keep you on medications, right? For
I was
quite a
on
while.
medications for a couple years, yeah, just
yeah.
kind of slowly tapering it off.
Which most people don't get off of, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, it's not a great illness to have. So continue. What happened?
so the next few years, I mean, it was a trying time of just taking one step at a time. I switched jobs, and then I actually switched careers. I went from solar to technology to tech sales here in Austin. Got a job at a fantastic company, so it's just kind
Well,
of
wait, you got a job at this fantastic. Is this a company that everybody can get a job at? Is it no competition to get a job?
There's
Do people try to
competition.
get a job there and they really fight for it?
Yeah.
I mean, I have one engineer who she told me that she, more than anything else, she wanted to work at that company. And it was so hard just to get an interview. And then during the interview, when they flew her out to Silicon Valley, she, didn't pass, even though she has all these degrees. You have a lot of degrees?
Got one.
Yeah, the degree of
bachelor's?
you got the degree of using the energy though, right? And you're getting better and better at just having
Yeah.
your body turned on to being powerful each day, right?
It's definitely more useful.
Yeah. So you went for working from a solar company, which sort of is, I don't know if it's on business anymore, but anyway, it was in a rocky economy for that. To where do you work now, if you don't mind saying?
I work now at Google selling cloud.
Wonderful, wonderful. It's a name everybody knows. We use Google every day. And how's that going?
It's going great. Experiencing a lot of success. I'm in sales there, selling cloud, which is a very hot commodity, so to speak. It's a big deal, and we're making a lot of progress in these very large healthcare companies where we're having meetings with entire C teams of some of the largest healthcare companies in the country. So,
Well, doesn't that freak you out that you've got this important job and all these interesting companies you're working with, and you went from solar to, the selling all of Google? Is it okay? Are you good going in there?
oh, it's great. Yeah, you just use the energy to prepare yourself every day. And
Smart. I use the energy exercise before I go into surgery. I understand. It's very useful. So it's great. I'm really glad you were able to communicate something about personally in his life, because we have actually a special offer for you at the end that it has to do with being able to take one of the programs we've got set up, an initial program, and then if you're interested in advancing even deeper, we have those too, but this is special for you, and there'll be a link that'll be coming up on the feed. But what he accomplished is not something that's any different than the over 10,000 testimonials we've got every age group. So I'm really proud of you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, and nothing's stopping you now, right?
No, nothing.
And you don't have to get up in the morning and go, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it.
Right.
Good for you.
Just do it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. So what is he doing? What's he using the energy for? What do I use the energy for? What does anybody who's been through the courses or people that I've treated all over the world? It's not necessary to force yourself to be great. You knew that when you were younger. You knew that when you first got into school that, I think I can be an artist. And you put together something, and then for you, it looked pretty cool. You liked it. And then maybe somebody acknowledged you that said that could have some promise, or maybe they didn't, but it really didn't mean, truthfully, if you look back at it now, that they were correct. Actually, what's inside of you is waiting to get developed. And do you have just one talent inside of you? Do you have just the ability to fall in love with somebody or grow in your knowledge base every day? Or is life one of these processes that goes like this, and then like this, and then like this? And if you get a teacher who's already down here, then they start to, or friends, quote unquote, or family members, that they'll try to drag you into that. But that isn't the process, that the way this universe was set up. That's after all my years in China, back and forth, after searching for this type of modality for people so that your life could start to go like this finally, I was just fascinated that it actually occurred. Something that actually was originated back in the days of Lao Tzu. You remember the gentleman who did the yin-yang symbol. I think that's where we have it here. It's very interesting, the Tao Te Ching. All that material is information that he not only spoke about, but it wasn't permitted actually to write it down. And this discipline has never been permitted to write it down. That's why I had to go back and forth after they finally accepted me to be able to learn this. And then finally, we've got it back for you. And all the discipline is to allow your really natural talents and your goals to not only manifest one, but multiple. And when things are going like this, you get to go like that. And when other people go, I don't know if I can do this, you'll go, I'll just listen to an audio or watch a video. And embedded in each one of those type of programs are all these vibrational states that you can really benefit by. And the more you can benefit, the stronger you get. And then and you don't worry about having to make yourself confident. You don't have to worry about making yourself a positive person, because you all of a sudden experience yourself competent. You experience, I can do this. Don't hold me back. I can do art. Even though I haven't done it in a long time, bring it back today. Or maybe you want to write something today. Use the energy that's in this presentation just today and watch it again. And share and have for your friends and like it. That you actually are a sensory organism that actually pulls in vibrations all the time. And oh boy, what if in this coursework, you actually get to select how you would like your body to actually become more powerful in making more money, which would be a good thing, or becoming healthier, or having better friends, or being better able to communicate with your family or your children. All those things are part of what it is to be a whole, operating, excited human being. And why should you take a negative? Don't let people say that. This course is so valuable, the one these people are in that has multiple different practices in it, and the one that you're getting to be offered as a special at the end. It's so useful. Don't deny yourself this going forward in your life. Give it a shot, and then tell other people about it once you start to, take off like Davey did. I wonder, is there anybody else who's here? Who? Where? Is that Katie? Katie, come on. They gave me the list of people right before. And there's going to be questions that some of y'all are asking out there, and we have a feed for those, and people are going to give me those questions while we're presenting. They'll probably give them to me very soon. But while you're getting the questions together, please send them in. We're responding. Come over here, Katie. So we have someone writing them down. They'll be giving them to me. But in the meantime, let's find out about, we talked about the male side of the world. Now, what about the female side of the world? You've been doing the energy exercises for what, or the practices? For 10 years?
5 years now.
5 years,
but,
wow, okay.
It
doesn't matter. Yes? Is she talk? Oh, I think they want you here.
Okay.
All right, so I hope you can hear her. She actually is, you're 75 years old now? And this is how you look? Right,
Reverse
that's what I
aging. Works
yeah.
wonders.
Yeah, people do say, have you had work done? And actually, people get accused of plastic surgery because, when on the inside, when you're feeling really great and you're feeling confident, you're feeling like that there isn't anything that needs to hold you back, then your body's going to respond. And then beauty comes from the inside. So in doing the energy practices, what was it that you wanted to accomplish? Where were you going? Were you, when you first started with us in this course or one of the other courses, were you like this way, like most people, or was it, what was going on?
I felt like I was constantly going in waves. I was trying to tackle quite a bit all at the same time.
Well, I think everybody is. And if you aren't tackling a lot, you can. once you get energized, once you get this source energy, you're going to be surprised. We have people find their perfect mate, not at 50, not at 40, not at 30, but at 60s and 70s. Yeah, life's waiting for you. Go ahead.
So the biggest area of focus that I had was in my job. And I was in what some might call a matrix company at the time, but loved the work, loved the people. And as I was seeking...
You were in that job for how long?
A year and a half.
Year and a half. And you liked your position, but
Loved it.
But the people you were working with were
They were
not so
win-win.
much fun.
That's
Right.
correct.
Well, that's another one of the what we call the great 8 that comes along with your sensors actually opening up and just having you be able to be more competent every day, is that you become able to actually keep a good cheer and relate to people, even if they aren't acting towards you like, boy, are you wonderful. I can't believe you're even here. They might actually act the opposite, but you were still able to succeed at that company, weren't you?
Yep. I tend to run toward the fire. So I enjoy a good challenge and love to kind of tackle anything that looks insurmountable.
Right.
So
that's a good approach. But when you first started at this company, that was really an exciting thing to do. But as things went on, although you went for it, you told me, I think way back then, was that even though you were that way, the company wasn't so excited about you maintaining that.
That's correct. That's correct.
So
It
if
was not set
you'd
up
like to get
succeed.
a lot of us work at companies where we'd like to be honored for the hard work we're doing because we're a team. The source energy, this energy practices since the days of Lao Tzu are all about win-win. Because really, what fun is it to do everything in your life alone? So really you want to do win-win. You want to have people at work, people in your family, people in your relationship, that if you get an ice cream cone, they get one too. Everybody gets to win together, and you don't have to go through those 1,000 books on management, and not that they're wrong, or sociology or psychology, all of which as a medical doctor, I had the good fortune of being able to learn them, but you can gap up with practices so that you all of a sudden are able to grow and sustain in any kind of business. Whatever your position is, just turning your body into the place where you'd like for it to be with the practices, whether physical or mental or auditory. So what did you do?
So actually, at the time that I was looking for another opportunity, we also lost a critical member in our family system.
Oh.
So we had kind of two things come to a head.
Remember that thing called, my friend who I was asking, where you been the last 2 years and why are you not going any higher and you're not actually doing well? He went, no excuse, he went, life. And that's sort of a word that you can hear now. It just means something, but actually it means that there's a lot out there I didn't plan for, or in my body, or in my environment, or in the places I was wanting to get goals that somehow interrupted my forward progress. And that's sort of the story that you get sold by what? Everything. Every movie has this big surprise that the hero is on his way, and we all go, oh, this is going to be a great story, and then splat, something happens, So did you? What did you do? Did you
signed
splat
up.
Or what?
I did not splat. I refused. I signed up for 2 treatments in 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
So I had one in January and one in March.
And you're in this course that they can't see all the people out there, but this is a course where there's a lot of people who are in immersion in a bunch of energy practices to learn very quickly. And the one we're offering you is a special, very similar to this course, and you can start that right away today. But so what happened with those
The
connections?
treatments were foundational.
Really?
They helped me really reconnect with who I was as a person. And then in my second treatment, I actually brought my husband, John, with me. And so we started to create this energy support system in our household, and it translated out
Wait,
into
you'd
our
already been
careers.
married to him for how long? You weren't like Davey,
We've
who
been
found his
together
wife?
for 13 years.
13
Married
years.
for 5 in
And so
September.
after you started learning these energy practices and he started doing them, because I didn't know about this part, did y'all get, it's a little bit close here, but I wasn't going to ask. Did y'all get like closer, or
We
did it pull
did,
you
we
apart?
did.
Like you do your thing, I'll do my thing. You're going to do sports, I'm going to do whatever. No, you're actually closer now?
We're much closer with whole new approaches, which I think is
And
the
is
most
it
important
effortful to
part.
do that? Do you have to go, okay, now I'm going to do, let's see, which one of these, you're a Venus and I'm a Saturn, and what am I
We're on the
supposed to do?
same
You
page.
don't have to do that, right?
Right.
Yeah, because as a human being, whether you're a small human being, middle-sized human being, large one, young human being, old human being, you all have the same desires. You want your life to keep going like this, and everybody's trying to tell you, no, there's a million reasons why not. Actually, that's for them. If you want to have that, I wouldn't recommend that because you already know where it's going to go. This process, all these processes, the ones that where you just listen to the guided visualizations or the videos that you can watch, bring you back to the state where you're ready to go out and crush it. And we have people, you know, in so many different industries. Some of the names I can say, some of the names a lot of people know because they're on the front of Fortune magazine, et cetera. But the key is, it works for everybody. It doesn't matter what your age group or where you're at. So what happened with you?
So a couple other things that I reached for. I had 3 success calls with Dr. B. I also leaned on my facilitator, Terry, who helped me tremendously. And I downloaded the app.
These are all things that are included in whatever program that you were doing.
I played the breathing exercises on a loop as I slept. Which,
it's interesting, yeah, because you're surrounded by a milieu all the time. I know some people are all of a sudden recognizing that, oh, what am I doing at nighttime? I mean, is the person downstairs in my apartment building, is their computer on all the time? Is it sending up all these waves through wherever? And should I turn my computer? Should I really sleep on my cell phone or not? I mean, is there concern with what's around you? Yes. This is not nothing here. This is all molecules, just like we're made of molecules, and it all results in a certain vibration, which you can do a lot about, especially if you make a choice that you want your life to start going like this, which is what this program's about. Why I'm so excited about it. So what happened in your life? Did you stay at that company?
I did not. No.
You did? But weren't you worried about like separating from your financial source? So what'd you do?
But when you're in this program, worry kind of dissolves and you're able to reach for what you know and trust. And
I thought worry's essential. Weren't you trained that since you were a kid?
It's just adrenaline.
Maybe not some of you, but a lot of people, maybe not the one who's listening, or the ones listening later, is that some people say, well, you better worry about that. You better be concerned because you never know, or look at that person. Or if you read the Inquirer, or if you read the Star, or if you read the magazines as you go into the grocery store, everybody's got something to worry about in those magazines, right? And then if you interview somebody in line, how you doing? It's not necessarily a big lift, is it? It's not a great story. So what about you? Are you going to have a story that's going to lift or not? What happened to you?
So I secured...
Or what did you create?
I secured the highest position I've ever had in my career at one of the fastest rising startups to date in this industry.
Wonderful.
And so as part of me joining, working on their exit strategy to be sold to a massive retailer. And so the technology that I'll be building will enable them to become even more successful than they are today. What's really neat about the whole experience
Wait, that's neat enough for me. I mean, I want that job. Whatever that job is, I'll take it. The previous job was not going well, right? And that's why you were looking, which is okay. We're always growing, right? In your lifetime now, what's it say? That you're supposed to have, some people have 5 careers in one lifetime now. And that's small. Some people have way more than that. The Salesforce is not from a person doing the company that he originally was doing. He went off and started his own. People that own all kinds of companies, they start a new one, and the percentage of people that are successful, you do a business course, they'll tell you is super high, medium high, or at the end of a year, there's less than 5% left. You look it up. And that's in this world that goes like this. No matter how positive you are, the results are not necessarily great for the bank, or your loan, your bank account. So how would you like to turn that around? Because we've had so many people with financial successes using these practices. So I don't know about you. Tell me what happened. Are they paying you for this, or that you're working free?
Oh, no, it's highly compensated. And they were willing to negotiate with me and took however much time was required to make sure that it was win-win, which was a unique set of circumstances.
Wonderful. So you're happy and your hubby's happy that you're working there too?
Oh, yes.
So relationships going well. Obviously, how about your health? Are you being more dynamic, going out there, getting your sports done, hopefully?
Yes. Outside far more often.
Good. So everybody wants to have all of those. I mean, that's part of who you are. Remember, there were ancient Greeks, ancient days people. It's very important that you balance, but who knows what balance means? Well, don't say what balance means. You determine. Some people, balance could mean I want to be super strong, super smart, great, wonderful relationship, fun kids, fun family. Why are you limiting yourself? What balance means? You define that. You know what's inside of you. It's just the world itself, especially if you read some of those magazines in the grocery store. Sorry to bang on those, but the point is they sort of pushing you down about the latest drama and trauma right around the corner. Well, if you're focusing on that, you certainly aren't going to be able to be inspired, but forget about it. You've been inspired before and still life or something splat, right? What's better is you don't enter into that environment at all. In other words, you have decided that with these practices, let's see what I can do, huh? And so then you sort of found out that you had a lot more in you than you thought, or what?
Absolutely. Even more so, when I turned in my resignation, I then was recruited by one of the top tech companies in the world to come out
and you didn't know that was going to happen in advance, right?
No, it was a complete
That's the other
surprise.
thing that comes out with the energy practices, which I happen to like the best, which is that you sort of get serendipity on command. And when you hear from somebody else, you go, that wonderful thing happened to you? And you go, well, were you like writing 1,000 goals, and were you like birding feathers at night and going to all kinds of classes?
I was not.
I was
Let's be
doing this
clear.
and that. No, it's who, and you've heard about these courses where they say, well, you have to be attractive or attraction factor, and things are going to be attracted to you. And it's wonderful that information came out a while ago, but if you know, that didn't change the success rate in people going into business or people getting a job or the success rate as a physician. I can tell you, you look up the statistics, it didn't change anything in terms of people actually being able to go out and really recognize that where your attraction comes from is where you're emanating from. And you can't emanate just from a positive attitude. What if the rest of you is going, no, no, no? Well, we need to do 1,000 years of psychotherapy? There's nothing wrong with that, but it's a slow road. What if you could gap up and go from one job to the next and just keep allowing yourself to be your best self? I don't know, did you ever play any sports?
I did, yes.
What kind of sport?
I played soccer.
Soccer. Okay, I played a number of sports too, but I can just remember that whether it was football or whether it was baseball, that sometimes you'd be up there and maybe you would get a good hit, sometimes you wouldn't, but on those days, I can still remember, and you can watch it on television, when it was time, when a ball came in and I could see this had home run written on it, and all of a sudden it was like, hit! And you'd swing and you just stay there. You wouldn't even move because you're like surprised at how far the ball went. So in your soccer, did you ever have experience like that?
Oh yeah, especially with penalty kicks.
Yeah, so wouldn't
where
you
it's my
like to
matter.
be able to bring that forward and have more and more home runs? The people that are doing the practices that we're talking about and for the programs that we have for you as a special here at the end, all are the ones that are in professional sports and one are in intercollegiate sports. They all want to be in the zone. They want to be in flow and be able to get the home runs and be able to succeed. Win, the Super Bowl, win in the World Series. All those things are possible, even at the last second, if who you are is getting stronger every second of the game and the other team's going, we've done everything, I hope we can hold on. So you didn't just hold on, huh? You just kept going.
No. I just
How
kept
about now? Is it all
skyrocketing.
over? You've completed your life, or what's going to happen now?
No, I'm still going.
Really? You still making more goals now?
Oh yeah.
You're not
I
worn,
haven't
you're
stopped.
not worn out by the process of,
Nope.
I finally made it into this job now. Hopefully I can relax and get what I want.
No, you don't
Now
want to
there's time
plateau.
for me. Do you have time for you now? Are you able to get time?
I do.
And your
yeah.
husband, should we interview? Has he got time for him too?
He's fantastic, yes. He's looking at me with a smile.
All right, good. All right, congratulations. So
Thank
the key
you.
is
Thank
that
you.
for people out there who are watching this right now and people watch it later, and I really recommend you watch it because what's in this program for any of the people that are presenting or myself is that there's an important place where you are not only emotionally coming from, but where you don't have to think about where you're coming from. You're just in that zone home run state, and it isn't something you have to force. It's something you naturally are drawn to, just like when you're next to the ocean versus, say, do you want to spend 3 hours in the library in a dark corner, if you ever did that, to study for something. It doesn't matter if you're studying there or studying at the ocean. How you're going to feel afterwards has a great difference to your environment and what's going on. And this is creating your own environment, starting inside, then from here, and then all the way with the people you're married to and at work, right?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Reed.
Thank you.
It's been
very
fun.
much. Thank you. All right, so I'll give that to them. All right, so we have some questions. Let me see. Do you have one? Please, let me see if we can read this. Hold on. Okay. Okay, this is from a really, can I say her name? Hi, hello out there. All y'all had questions, great. We're gonna answer some of them here. There's a lady by the name of Vera. And she asked a cool question, which a lot of people have asked me before, is are the practices, one, are they difficult, are they simple? The ones that you have to, that are mental, are they physical? Are they ones that you have to do every second? And I can't be here with you, I've got to be in my practice, don't talk to me, I'm meditating, don't talk to me, I'm being one with the world, don't talk to me, I'm being mine. No, none of that. They're so simple because that's how you're made. And that's what they discovered years and years and years ago. And that's what was so powerful. And these practices were only reserved for the emperors back in those days so that they could actually rule, and many of the people who were scientists and philosophers, so that it would open up not only your ability to be win-win all the time and be more able every day, no matter your age, but that you'd also be able to make a contribution to other people in your own life. So the practices, if you were all pulled into them, then you wouldn't be able to do that. Practices are very simple. So the answer to your question is they're very simple. And not only are they ones that you get to, like the two people that spoke so far, be able to have a success out here, because we really encourage that. If you're going to do any of the courses, the one that we're offering you at the end, that I think there's a link to that. Whether what you wanted more health, we have a lot of people for that. If you wanted more monetary success, if you want to get younger, if you want to becoming more able, you want to have more friends, or as you can see financially, if you want to get better, or if you want to actually include more in your life, or you don't know yet, you just would like to just blast off in a number of different areas, but you're ready to get out of Dodge in your life. You're ready to have a whole new world start exploring for you. We have people that have many degrees, and then all of a sudden they go, I really think I want to write a book, or I really want to do a play. And instead of doing their work every day without stressing, they're able to manifest that and pull that out without magic. It's how you're made. You're more powerful than you realize. It's just how do you get in that home run state, or the soccer state she was talking about. And so it isn't that it makes a change in you. It's just sort of like you got two systems inside. I think people know enough of medical science to know that you've got nerve pathways, and if you know acupuncture, you've got acupuncture pathways, and if you know massage, you know that you have trigger points in place to massage, and if you know deep tissue therapy, there's places deep tissue, a lot to learn, right? But it's all remedial. It's not bad, it's good. We have all those people in these courses, but what would it be like if you could prepare where you are now to be more powerful in each one of these areas going out here in the future? So with this question that she asked, it's really cool because the changes don't have to occur in here. It's really how you're built. It's just aligning your vibrational state by doing these practices towards any of your goals. And then externally, you start noticing, oh gosh, I used to sell this, but could I go for this kind of job where the competition is insane, where there's very, very few people in Silicon Valley even invited, and yet most are rejected, and actually get the job and then be successful and be moving up the ladder in that, especially after they know, I had an illness that was a big deal? Or could I be something where I was doing one thing and now I'm going to go into a completely different field and they want me without me inviting them? Well, it's sort of your field goes out. Have you ever walked in a room and all of a sudden, or you notice somebody else when they walked in the room? Why do you notice them? You can't see them that well. Maybe they have a field around them. Everybody has an energetic field. Some people, the field goes to here, some people go to here, here, here. But actually, that's your area that you can get more nurtured every moment and healthier and more able. And that's what does the attracting. You just have your goals. Once you align your energy field and it gets stronger and stronger, where you can go out and do gymnastics. We have people, it doesn't matter their age group, who are taking on things you just wouldn't imagine. A person who supposedly should have some arthritic changes or life changes in their body, that they're going out doing all kinds of physical things, including things you wouldn't expect, like self-defense courses, and being able to do other kinds of not just yoga, which is actually extremely powerful, but they're doing yoga with the energy practice so that they can move their joints in ways that they never thought possible. So yes, there's an internal, but it isn't like you don't already have it. It's just not happening for you because that area isn't getting energized because you're spending all your other time doing, I should be able to do this, or I should be able to do that. I mean, all these things that we've learned, or I should be thinking these things, or there's all these complicated things I need to read. There's a new book out every week on what you should be doing. Now, how could you be so defective and born into a world where you don't know any of the right things to do to crush it? And you got to listen to a podcast where the person's saying you have to do 1,000 things. I haven't told you have to do anything other than actually inherit your birthright, which is when you're in the zone, home runs, soccer, make it state or great job state, that state doesn't have to be one where you're just going in your head or you're forcing it. The practices that I brought back from China, you can just take your pick. If your person wants to watch videos, they're embedded in the videos. If you wanted to listen to audios in the car or anywhere, those are also there. If you want to do physical practices, we have so many physical practices that you can do in the airport, on the plane, wherever you are, that we've had people who are doing not only Tai Chi, Qigong, all types of martial arts that really wanted to start gapping up, test this out. And so people that couldn't get a black belt for years, so now they're older, were now able to get the black belt and compete because now they were able to do the practices they needed to do. So you don't have to change, Vera. What happens is the world around you is going to make changes because you're now focusing your your energy field such that you're ready for that. That's what you want. And it doesn't take a lot of effort. And says, do I practice? What type of practices can you do? Well, if somebody really wants to do that, you want me to show one practice? Was that something people would like to have on a live? All right, this is live. You get to see a practice, right? And we'll also answer other questions. We have other people, but I know Facebook Lives are supposed to be short. Do we have time or not? Stay tuned. We have time. Yes, we have a little time. I can see. Okay, what kind of practice could you do? Well, everybody knows that your body, sometimes you sit in a chair or you stand or you do something and it doesn't feel that great. Sometimes you're, maybe at a concert and it doesn't feel that great. But actually, you have so many things about you that once you're in the flow of how your body actually works, then it's actually possible that there's so many things you can do that you don't even believe it. Like you can take your hands like now and go like this. I mean, I do this when I'm outside in between surgeries. Now you would say, well, you just stood for an hour doing an operation. Why is it you want to do that? Well, it's really fun to take why don't you out there, please do this, just have fun. And then you notice your hands are like that, and then you can roll it up like this, of course. And that's really cool. Now what's really fun when you do this is if you take a deep breath and smile, don't force yourself, just enjoy whatever you're experiencing. You don't have to feel anything with your heart beating or your energy fields opening up inside. You just have to know that, my results, which is how this whole set of practices that we've been collecting testimonials on for over 13 years, how it got to be so powerful is that so many people were able to get better and better results in their lives, whether they felt anything at all. You don't have to feel like you're on, Red Bull or something. You could be nice and calm. You can be happy, and you can move your hands up higher, right? So you can see me behind this. And some of you can do this and you say, oh, my shoulder. Well, let go, relax a second. Let the energy flow in there. Which energy? Which of the 256 vibrations? You don't have to do anything. You can just allow it to go on. And then you can move it up even higher. All these things don't really have a limit. Now I'm behind you and you can move it up even higher. Now it's surprising to some people that you can actually twist your hands around and move them up even higher. They go even higher. And it's not difficult. Wherever you move to each time can get even higher. And some people go, well, gosh, what is happening here? Is this gentleman going to pull me into a spaghetti? No. The point is that you really don't have limitations on how your body can move. And I have so many people that when they say, oh, gosh, I started doing one of your exercises and I'm 76, and now I tell them it's not my exercises. They all come from China. Everything I brought you in any of the courses, the one we're going to give you a link to at the end and the ones that these people are in, are all just translations that were never written down. So these energy fields are ones that you just haven't partaken in on a consistent basis. But if you want that, then you'll find that there really isn't anything that you really can't do. You can actually take it the other way. And you'll find there's so many parts of your life and your body that are just like this. Like, gosh, I was just sitting here and I haven't had my third cup of coffee yet. And I haven't taken in enough fat. And I haven't fasted enough. And I haven't worried enough about what I should be doing so I can make my goals. And also I have got phone calls and, oh my gosh, then someone called me. Now I have life. No, all that is something invading your field because you haven't discovered that you can still do it either way. You can still say, okay, I can schedule my day and have it work without driving myself crazy. I can actually have fun, and there's no limit to how far you can go in any direction. It doesn't matter whether it's Monday or Sunday or Saturday or today. You just can keep going up and up. And how do you do this? People say they've seen me for years, And they'll go, "Well, you know, how often do you practice this exercise?" Whenever I want to or whenever I need to. There isn't a limit to what you can do. Really, there isn't. And actually, you have places in your body that are just waiting for you to enjoy feeling and excelling in all these different vibrations. There's so many. So you can put your hands behind your head like this, and you go, "Well, I've done that before." Well, just hold it here and then relax your shoulders a little bit. Take a breath. Yes. Take another breath. So you'll be surprised at the number of, if you've researched out, Dr. B or the Energy for Success, you'll see for years I've been taking care of presidents of countries and really wonderful people who run great institutions in the world. And they are doing the same exercise you're doing right now. Because you'll be surprised, any exercise or any movement in life, if you're being fortified with the energy without having to go, "I think I'm doing it right, but I'm worried about, am I doing it right or am I not doing it right? Maybe I should worry more. Or maybe I should be concerned about what I'm going to do 5 minutes from now. Or is this meditation?" No, you can do meditation. People that are meditation teachers actually come and do these practices, some publicly and some privately, because they burn out, because meditation takes work. Everything takes work in the other world. In this world, what you want to do is just apply them. And then these practices, I said, they aren't mine. They're ones that have been around forever in the history of this discipline, just they haven't been brought out. So as your shoulders can go back, and they can be behind your head, and then you can actually have your head on your hands, like I have mine here, and you can hold your hand here and let your shoulders go back just a little bit, and then take a deep breath. So your shoulder blades behind you can actually get a little closer, a little closer. And we have over, I think 175 different exercises I've brought back, physical, mental, and ones that are just relaxing exercises, auditory. But all of them, you take your pick. And you'll be surprised. There's some people that I've met who've said, "I'm older, I'm much older and I'm retired, and can I do the physical ones? Is it safe for me?" You can start doing any of them. You don't have to start with your hands up here. You can start with them here. But the point is, as you notice, just like when you first learned to ride a bike, in the beginning, your foot sort of banged off the pedal, and then you wobbled. But then with time, you're riding the bike and talking to somebody with your hands maybe up in the air, laughing and looking around, because you got that sense of holding yourself on a bike, balancing yourself against gravity, enjoying the experience, and expanding from there. Really, if I could leave you with anything, it's that all of these practices are about you winning. However, people say, "Well, winning is an attitude, it's an approach." I know a lot of people, I'm from Kentucky, that go to the Kentucky Derby, and they spend a lot of money to have those horses there, and they're all about winning. And when you interview them beforehand, that's what's so exciting. If you're watching on TV, everybody says, "I think we're going to win. We cross our fingers. We really think we have a great chance." So everybody wants to win. But if you are actually in a game called life, and it isn't one where there is only one winner or somebody else, or that's good for them, but it's actually part of what was given to you, your birthright since day one, and that all you need to start accessing that, then all of a sudden it won't be a surprise when something comes in and it's a home run, or that someone calls you and says, "We really would like for you to have this job. Would you take it, please?" And then you have a success. So it's been a pleasure being with you. We have so many different things to take care of, any of the problems and also the goals that you would like to accomplish. And I think we have a special offer at the end that's going on the feed right now. Is that right? And that's being typed in. And so you can look at that. It includes a number of things. It's a Dragon program. And I think you'll really, really, really benefit by it. And it's even a special price to include all those things so you could actually experience it as a trial. I really hope that you bet on yourself. Come on. This is the time with no efforting. Use this Facebook Live. Watch it a number of times. The energy that's in this presentation and in all the material that we're offering you is just going to allow you to keep scaling in all the areas you want. Even not only feeling younger and acting younger and being able to accomplish more, but also in having more friends and love. And you need that. We all need that. And what if it wasn't that hard to have it come into your life, that you don't have to remake yourself into something and think about that and have a special technique on how to pull somebody in. What if who you are is actually extremely, extremely attractive? It's just that that heart connection, that whole energy field connection, it just needs to be turned on by doing these practices. So I wish you the best. Please come and visit us. Please like us and share on Facebook. And if you have questions, this is going to be run after this initial presentation. So if you have other questions, it'll come in on the feed. And I look forward to seeing what those are too. And I look forward to your success. Thank you for joining us. Bye. Facebook Live, we did it. So that's I think we finished now. So 𝒏𝒆𝒓𝒈𝒚. And then we're going to turn it off now. Facebook Live is done. Thank you. So thank you all for participating in the audience. You got to have all that energy that we were sending out to all those millions of people are existing where? Just in the state we're in? Just in the Associated States? Or in the world? Isn't that funny? We're broadcasting to the world. Isn't that something we've always wanted to do? When I used to work in, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Dr. B, who brought this energy for you all and all these practices back. And they're not my practices. They all come from Lao Tzu. They're ones that you actually can use that have already been verified. But one of the greatest things about being with you all is watching you light up also. And that actually, if I had what I wanted to do in this Facebook Live was actually just have all of you all just train up and just say whatever you're going to say, because did we plan what you were going to say or anything, you guys? Nothing, right? I just said, I think it'll be space to have some live presentation. And all of you all have had those kind of victories. And for ones you've had, if you're in the matrix, it's pretty much you'll say, well, that was good then, but what are you going to do now? And that's okay. You can let people talk that way, because all those 8 areas are there for you to succeed in, All 8 areas should be cranking as far as goals. And we're going to get into that when we get into the major part of the course, which is going to start in about right after your break. So you ready to have a break? Are you? So take a small break. We have tea and what else? Tea. Do they have comida? Is there some food out there too? All right, so I want you to take a small break. We're going to set up the screen and everything, and then we're going to get started. All right? Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I hope you felt and experienced the energy.